free SHS program is officially underway after President Akufo-Addo launched it at a program at Adenta here in Accra. There are more than 420,000 children benefiting from the program, and JoyNews is learning that parents of all these children could take advantage of the government's intervention to make enough savings and investment that can take care of tertiary education in full. If they invest what would have been used to pay for fees and other expenses if government was not paying, we have an investment analyst joining us to help us with around this huge opportunity that have come for parents and guardians. We have our men traveling around the country as well as the registration is ongoing. Many, we're told, are stranded. Some have been kept in queues for days, and parents who have traveled from other regions are having to sleep in hotels, churches, etc. We also understand that the JES has summoned some school heads to Accra for demanding monies from some parents, even though the program is supposed to be free. We'll bring you all of those details plus some views from the minority in Parliament who are raising concerns with the mode of implementation of the free SHS. But let's start with our JoyNews agenda. Matilda Wamega speaks to a parent who is not interested in this offer of free secondary school education by government.
Senior high school policy, students would have to pay for everything from textbooks to feeding. But the start of the policy is now taking a huge financial burden off parents. It makes sense that many parents are queuing at the Ministry of Education and the various senior high schools across the country just to be sure this opportunity doesn't pass them by. In spite of the hope it brings to many, some parents will have nothing to do with it. Not even when Aggregate 9 qualifies his son to have his first choice of school and program. Anthony Abam, a father of 3, has been explaining why he opted for a private senior high school for his son, who was supposed to have benefited from the free SHS policy.
Even though I support this idea, I think that those who have the ability to pay should be given the opportunity to pay. That is one. There are professionals who have the ability to pay. So although I support the idea completely, I think we should work out those things. Second, the reason why I took my son to private is that the numbers are small and they are emphasizing on morality, integrity, the Christian values of that school. So I believe that I should give the boy that solid foundation. That's why I will advocate for more community-based SHS. So we'll build more community day. And then the resources for boarding could be channeled to fund this expansion that we're looking for. Yeah, so I'm thinking we should look at it critically. Do we still have to have the boarding? If you opt for the boarding, then you should pay for it. And let us channel these resources to expanding the facilities so that we have smaller numbers. Teachers will be able to focus on the student and give them the needed attention so that they can do well. Because some of the students really need special attention.
He is unsure how government intends to sustain the program since there is no legal backing yet.
Our issue is the sustainability. If we're able to pay this year, what about the future years? What is the source of funding that we can be sure that this policy will not be just 3-day wonder or 9-day wonder, as they say, but then we can be able to sustain it? That is the issue I think we should be addressing now. If we have a legal backing, then nobody will come and then throw it overboard. So they should consider if there is a need to give the legal backing to make it sustainable, yeah, I'll go for it. And I also entreat whoever has reservation. Since it's a national issue, we should not play politics with this one. Come out with your views, let us debate it. If there is a need to revise it, let's do it so that it becomes a national policy that successive government will follow.
The urgent questions about whether or not the concept of free will compromise quality of education, as well as how the policy will be sustained from one government to the other, remains on the minds of many parents like Anthony Abam.
Well, Maxwell Agbagba has been to the Odog Senior High School. Here is his report.
Confusion here at Odogono Senior High School. Lots of the people here are not excited because of what they describe as preferential treatment. A lot of them say they've been standing at the rear of the queue without getting access to this computer laboratory where they are supposed to get their names into the database of the school here at Odogono Senior High School. A lot of them say the officials here and the staff here usually will bring some teenagers from the rear of the queue and they get them inside ahead of all others to carry out the registration process. They are not really excited about this.
We came here yesterday. They are for 30 years. Some of them, they are coming, they say protocol.
Which staff is it? We have been here since morning. Since morning, around 5 a.m. Yesterday we were here the same thing, and then they told us to go. We've been here since the line is not moving where my daughter is standing, still standing there. And then they will come in, people from the down there will come and tell us stuff. The man coming from the down there came in with the son. Just now, he has been, that man coming with the green shirt with the son, just came in and he said, they are finished with it. He said it's staff. Is it right, my brother? Is it right?
Baby man, no be by now, no a scarf, no, I did not bet you no co. And a scarf. Yeah, here for to your 2 abanibi. Into free niba, I will quite say yes to Yandibi. A dear scarf, or you could find the background on a day, or could find an free education by you. Now, so the background by the Salam, or being a togo, no being a ganani, in the Ghana for more, or being here, Chobi. Sasa a drew for Titama, no, on them from crap or but for no Munya or your papa. Are they? Yes, sir. But Minia, what day? You just like by this time. Are they? Obviously, staff robber, and you move staff from mother. No one here, staff for no. And I ain't any no my uncle, no first staff friend your school. No, I don't know, Basa.
So you just had some women complaining bitterly about what they describe as the preferential treatment here. They say that they've been here since dawn, but what usually happens is that you get an official or one of the officials here coming in with a child or with a teen and entering with them ahead of everybody else who's been standing here in the long queue. And usually what they say is that they are staff of this school here at Odogono. A lot of them are not really excited about it. One woman, as she rightly had said, they all voted. There are no Ghanaians here. There are no Togolese here. They are all Ghanaians. And they expect to be treated equally.
I came here as early as 5 a.m.
5 a.m.?
Yeah.
How long have you been standing in this queue?
For about 5 hours now.
5 hours? What were you told when you came here?
I was told they were setting up the place so that we start registration, but it has been for more than 5 hours now. They've not started anything. Our queue is not moving. We are standing from 5 a.m. where we are standing. That's the place we are still standing. So I think the queue is not moving at all.
You've also been here, you tell me, around 6 o'clock a.m.
Yeah.
What's the feeling like even as you wait to get inside?
The place is very congested, and we are not getting into that place because they are creating more confusions over there. So we are wasting more time to settle the dispute so that everybody will get in.
Now, Eugene, we're having a conversation about, what people have been saying on radio. Some political analysts are saying that free SHS would compromise on the quality of education that you get, even though, if you look at the logo of the free senior high school policy, it says equity, access, and then quality. Do you have fears as a beneficiary of the free senior high school, being a first batch? Do you have any fears that it's going to compromise on the quality?
No, I don't have any fears. I think to go on well, as it went on the previous years. So I think to be normal, I don't have no fears that there'll be a challenge. I don't have any fear that there'll be any challenge. So I think to go on well, and we'll be able to go to the senior secondary school and complete.
Wow, you sound very optimistic. Let me find out from you. Are you also optimistic, Clara?
Yeah, I think so, but I think things will be somehow complicated because it's free. Maybe the teachers won't be all that motivated to teach very well. So that's my problem.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
We're currently here at the Wesley Grammar School. It's day 2 of the registration process. Now, it's all calm here at the Wesley Grammar School with parents going about the registration process for their children. We hear classes would start tomorrow. But the major concern being raised by some of the parents here is that their children will not get opportunity to be in a boarding facility here because the authorities here tell them that they do not have the necessary space to accommodate all of them. Some of them would have to commute from Ashaiman and then Tema.
Okay, my sister had this school and we are coming from Tema. Actually, she chose a boarding school, but when it came, they told us it was she will get the day school. And we can't go and come back. So we want the government to do something about it. Maybe they give us a different school.
And then they said that according to them, it's like their boarding facility is not much. They don't have much space for boarders. And the place is already occupied. So you have to get a day. So they gave us day. Yeah, so it's now my son is now a day student.
Where do you live?
I live at Ashaiman.
Ashaiman, so it means he's going to commute from Ashaiman to Dansman every day?
Yeah.
Currently here at the Accra Academy. Now the registration process is going on smoothly. We understand first year students will be reporting on Thursday. But we've been finding out from some of the students who've been admitted here what they think about the 30% quota in all elite schools reserved for students from public basic schools who would get opportunity to make it to some of these elite schools. So we're finding out from them what they think about the policy and what they make of it.
I think it's a great plan for public schools because public schools, as I attended public schools, we really suffer a lot. We have like about 100 plus of students in one classroom.
Wow.
And like a lot of heat. And sometimes the teachers go on strike because of lack of payment of their salaries, and that affects us a lot. And so I think that 30% policy is a very good one.
It's very good. As Ben said, most people, sometimes we don't see them because we say they are from public schools and they are not that good. But some are really good. But we just don't like focus on them like the private schools we do. So when they come to meet with other students which come from private schools that are very good, they get to show what they have. It means that what they did there was not all. Maybe the 20-25 that the person had was not what the person had. The person could give better in the WASI coming to this school.
Okay. He said, I attended a public school. Okay. When in the class we are about 100 plus. And other teachers don't really have time for us like the way the private schools, they have time for them. So other people will be misbehaving and all those. And we the serious ones, we take the lessons serious. We study hard.
Okay.
All right, so it appears that there's a peculiar problem at the Odogono Senior High School, where one of my colleagues was there the whole of yesterday, couldn't register his ward. Today, he was there as of 5 a.m., just like some of the parents have said, still have not been able to register his ward. He's actually telling us that he's standing in a queue, and there's about 10 people in front of him. Emmanuel Lante is who I'm talking about, and he joins me on the phone from Odogono Senior High School, where he's trying to register his daughter. Hello, Emma.
Hello, Gifty.
What's the situation at the moment? We understand the registration process is quite slow at Odogono Senior High School.
Yes, Gifty. Like you rightly said, we've been here since 5 a.m. today. Yesterday, the whole day, I spent the whole day here, and I was unable to do that, go through the process successfully. This morning, we got here at 5 with the aim of going through it probably by 10, 11, we should be done and then come back to the office. But as we speak, Gifty, I still have about 10 people ahead of me before I take my turn. And even if one person goes in there, the number of minutes the person will take before coming out is also another thing altogether.
Have you tried to engage the authorities to find out exactly what the problem is? Why is it that it's so fast elsewhere and at this particular school it appears to be slow?
Yes, Gifty, I did. That's exactly what I did. I used my journalistic instinct to go into the head mistress's office to find out, get more information on that. And what I am being told is that their network here is a bit slow. They had a challenge with their network, and so at a point it stopped for a while. That's what, according to them, it stopped for a while, and that was why the delay came. And then a lot more people came to join, and it made the whole thing a bit murky. Okay. Another issue that probably is also compounding the problem is that some of the parents are not in the mood at all because they believe that some of the staff here are using the back door to get their wards registered, even though they have not been here since dawn that we came. They have been here just a few hours, and then they want to enter in there. And so the parents are also agitated. And nearly there was a scuffle between a parent and a teacher.
We have seen excerpts of that we have seen some of that confrontation through Maxwell Agbagba was there earlier. But as we speak now, you have a few people ahead of you, so it means that it looks good. You're going to be able to register your daughter.
Yes, it looks good for me because at least I know that there are 10 more people, then it will get to my 10. But as we speak, the teacher, the staff here are also saying that they will be closing in less than an hour. That's at 4 o'clock. They said yesterday they closed around 7. Today they can't leave here at 7 because some of them say they live far from the school. So they will close around 4 o'clock. And the line here and them saying that they will close at 4 o'clock, and the rate at which we are going, it means a lot more people. I'm even praying that by the 4 o'clock, it will get to my 10 before the 4 o'clock knocks.
Right.
And other than that, it means I have to come here tomorrow. And they are supposed to start school tomorrow. That's where the problem is. And a lot of them are also coming to the boarding house. You have a long list of items that you need to buy.
Yeah.
So if you're unable to go through the process today, how are you able to buy the things that you're supposed to buy for the kid to start the school tomorrow, to come and
to start school.
Him or herself?
That's quite worrying. That's quite worrying. But Ima, we wish you all the best, and we hope that you are able to register before they close. But I'm sure that the Ministry of Education are monitoring. They're monitoring what's going on and the stories that we're putting out there. And I'm sure that they will be able to present them with some kind of solution or help so that we can deal with this problem. Ima, thank you very much. Emmanuel Ante is part of the Pulse production team. They're trying to register his daughter so she can start school. Well, right now, let's take you to the West Africa Senior High School, where the free SHS program itself was launched today. Actually, yesterday, I asked the Deputy Minister, what is it that they're launching? Well, the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, was the first to speak. Let's hear him.
His government redeems its manifesto pledge to roll out the free SHS program. Today, first-year students will begin the next stage of their educational journey in senior high schools, including technical and agricultural across the country. Theirs is a special journey. However poor a child's family, he will never or she will never be shackled by the manacles of school fees as they live out his or her dream to be anything he or she wants to be. The days of promising students being left on the streets because of poverty are over. The days of parents at their wits' end they scramble to find admission fees are over. The days of young students being driven from class to go home for fees are over. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the dream of the father of this nation. We at the Ministry of Education and the Government Education Service are proud to be a part of this historic policy. We have put in the long hours and we stand ready no matter the challenges. I believe that for many generations to come, the free SHS policy will be etched in letters of gold as one of the greatest legacies of President Akufo-Addo's presidency. To ensure that those who would not see anything good don't come and criticize us, the president has ensured that as part of the free SHS being fully funded, for the first time in the history of this country, even for those who are paying fees, they go to school before they pay their fees. They don't pay their fees from home. The president has ensured that even before one child gets into school, 20% of the school fees are already there waiting for them. The president has ensured that it's not only the free SHS that he is concerned about. Capitation grant that has been in chronic arrears will be paid up to date. Even for the first term of this academic year is ready. Feeding grant, we became a nation that we were so merciless that even school for the special handicapped, we had arrears. Feeding grants for the handicapped schools are going before the school reopens. Feeding grants for students of northern extraction, that chronic problem that we have had, that has still given us precedence, is going this year before school reopens. Teacher training allowance has not only been restored, it's going before schools reopen. Mr. President, if that was enough, we wouldn't have done much. But chronic arrears are also being paid up to date, Mr. President. That is a president worth serving.
That is a president worth serving, he says. This is, of course, a social intervention program. So what does the president have to say on this very beautiful day for him? Hear him.
The cost of providing free secondary school education will be cheaper than the cost of the alternative of an uneducated and unskilled workforce that has the capacity to retard our development. Leadership is about choices. I have chosen to invest in the future of our youth and our country. We've decided to use the proceeds from our natural resources to help educate the population to drive our economic transformation. Instead of the revenues from our mineral and oil resources ending up in the hands of a few people, the most equitable and progressive way of using these revenues is to educate and empower our population to strengthen our nation. In so doing, we will be on the way to achieving UN Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which calls for inclusive and equitable education and the promotion of lifelong opportunities for all. Central to the prospects of this policy is the teacher. A well-trained, confident, and contented teacher is essential in the delivery of quality education. If we are to succeed as a nation, and if we accept that education is central to national development, then it is clear that quality teacher training is vital to our nation's development. It is for this reason that we are committed to teacher professional development through schemes such as Transforming Teacher Education and Learning, TTEL. Government continues to implement TTEL at a cost of 17 million United Kingdom pounds sterling. TTEL is a 4-year Government of Ghana program supported by the UK's Department for International Development, DFID. It seeks to transform the delivery of pre-service teacher education in Ghana by improving the quality of teacher education and learning through support to all public colleges of education from 2014 to 2018. The program will enhance quality education delivery in our colleges of education, and we look forward to its continuous implementation after 2018. The restoration of the teacher training allowance, which also begins today, is part of the comprehensive policy of engendering the production of quality teachers.
President Akufo-Addo there. Now, the opposition in Parliament has been critical of the government over the manner in which the program is being implemented. They have implemented. Well, the Deputy Education Minister in the Mahama-led NDC administration, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has been speaking on Joy FM Super Morning Show this morning.
When I hear the ministers of education keep saying that it's now free SHS, if your child is going to first year, it's totally free and all of that, we have to be careful, because if you make parents abdicate because of your style of communication, it will really come back to haunt all of us. The challenge we have at the public basic level is that we created the impression that, oh, with F-Cube it's totally free. So even parents will not show up for PTA meetings, they will make the little contributions that have to be made and all of that. Abaying say free, won't say free and then so private basic schools with time just outperform public basic schools, and nobody, even the teachers teaching at the public basic schools, don't want their children to attend those schools. So let's watch it. I visited a family 2 days ago, and the mother was telling me that the daughter is going to Achimota school. They have already spent 3,000 cedis just to prepare the chop box and trunk and other items that the young lady needs for Achimota. So yes, we appreciate free education. We appreciate that the bill has been covered by government, the items on the GES approved bill. But that is not the entire cost of secondary education. That is why when we rolled out our scholarship scheme for 10,400 students, beyond covering the items on the bill, we also provided cash grants for transportation, because these students will have to be transported to school or transport themselves to school. We took care of supplementary readers, math sets, school shoes, school bags, and all of those things, so that, because these are the most vulnerable, and you don't want to keep any excuse, any barrier that will prevent a parent or a guardian from sending the child to school. You want to remove that barrier. So it's important that we appreciate what we did. And we did that 10,400 scholarship scheme full free SHS pilot, so that by the time we get to our destination, implementing progressively free from the 2015-2016 academic year, when we get to our destination, we'll have learned lessons from the pilot that we ran with the 10,400 students. Even the costing that was done, you notice that for the first time, the approved fees was held constant. And we made that point, that they used the GES approved fees for last year, and they should have worked out inflation. This has never happened. If you look at the trend over the last 10 years, every year the GES approved fees goes up. Why is it that this year it was kept at last year's figure? It's because of the costing issue. It's not easy to implement. We know that it's not easy, because we've just come from the Ministry of Education. We know the numbers and all of that. And often when you are outside, you may have a different impression. But having come in and having been faced with the reality, they have to really now make adjustments.
Member of Parliament for North Dai, Okujeto Ablakwa there. Well, we're also learning today that some heads have been summoned to Accra for questioning over allegations that they are unlawfully charging parents some fees. Former Director General of the GES, Michael Nsoa, has been speaking.
Parents they are adults, so and they are free to form any association, and they should find ways of collecting their levies that they have agreed upon, without stopping any child from going to classes.
So these stories we are hearing, money for uniform,
yeah, we are hearing some of these, news and so on. But yes, immediately the Secretariat and the Ministry is checking on that, following up on that. Some heads have been summoned to report to the Ministry tomorrow morning. And if it is true that they are collecting fees and so on, maybe the Ministry will deal. Oh, certainly, not maybe, certainly the Ministry will deal with them.
All right, so I believe that by now you've had to know everything that there is to know about the free SHS. Well, what we have not heard from, or the kind of people that we haven't heard from, are people who are not directly affected by what's happening, the free SHS. So we hit the street to find out, what do people think about the free SHS, and what do they think about the reaction we're getting from the minority in Parliament? Here's what they had to say.
It's a very good initiative, one that would benefit the country largely, not a section of Ghanaians. About the concerns being raised about the minority, it's very understandable, but I also think this is really what progressively means. They sat and thought about it thoroughly, and they thought that is how to go by, to start at a point, and then as it progressed, subsequently other things will be factored in.
What I'm expecting is that, politicians, they wouldn't tell you the right thing. There's a little bit politicking in the whole issue. They should have let Ghanaians know that it's going to start with the, once it's a new program, it's going to start with the, first years, so that they will see how it goes. But you know, our Ghanaian politics, they made the people believe that it's going to, cover the whole 3-year program. That's why they are disappointed. But to me, I think I'm really happy about the whole program and the way it has started.
Everything starts from somewhere, because since when they are doing the 3 years education and they change it to 4, they did not complete, or those who had already started did not complete with the incoming with the same year. So that's how it's supposed to be. Everything has to be started with somewhere and end somewhere. And the government or Nanado did not specify that he will do the free SHS for those who have already started. You see. So NDC people are saying he should give to those on the 2nd year and the 3rd year. I don't agree with that.
Only we are praying that the things succeed. But they say free uniform. And now we went to the school, the things they give us, they say we should buy uniform for the children. So we are praying that everything go well. We don't want left and right and take white to be white, not black to change to black.
It's not all that effective for me. Why? Because what we heard was that the free HS, when it comes and you're placed in a school, the only thing you need is your chobos and your mattress straight to school. But yesterday I was in Anum Senior High with a nephew of mine. The list that we were given, it was almost like first, because looking at the money involved in the Alex now, the free SHS, compared to paying of the school fees at the previous time, is even lesser than now. So to me, the SHS, I don't think is quite good.
You're watching The Pulse with me, Gifty and Roppy. I'm going to take a very quick break. Well, when I return, I'll be having a financial analyst in the studio. We'll be talking about how much you could save and what you could do with that money in terms of investing in the tertiary education of your ward who's now enjoying free SHS. Please don't go away.